go to Kate in Fort Myers. What's up, Kate?
Hello.
How we doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We're figuring it out. It out. What's up?
My issue is that I let things bother me that are outside the realm of my influence.
Oof, me too. Tell me what you're struggling with.
Well, my father passed away 20 years ago.
Okay.
And ever since then, my brother has used this opportunity to financially exploit my mother. He has a lot of influence over her.
How is he exploiting her?
Well, she just told me a story last week where she had given him a check for $30, a blank check. She gave it to him because he needed to get a license for his dog. Well, he took that check and he wrote it out for $600.
Oh. So he's stealing.
About 10 years ago, her house burned down and she got $120,000 from the insurance. He slowly but surely took money from her from that to the point where there's no money left. He kept saying, I'll go buy the wood and repair the house. I'll go buy this piece of equipment and fix the house up. And he just slowly but surely drained all that money from her.
So what part about that can you not control? Or is she just allowing it? Because if I'm you, I'd call the cops, I'd get an attorney, I'd raise all kinds of sideways barn fires to get in there on that. What part can you not control unless you've talked to her and she says, yeah, well, that's just your brother. Is that what's happening?
She keeps saying, well, he's going to fix that house for me someday. He owes me that money and he's going to take care of it. And in her will, she has left him the only asset she has left, which is her 120-acre farm.
Oh,
she's left that to him in the will.
Why not you?
And why not me? Because I'm a boy.
Oh,
the boy gets the farm. The boy gets the farm. And we've talked about it. And she even has said
What's the girl get? The plates?
The girl gets the plates, yes. Oh. The girl gets the plates.
Gosh! Why?
He wants to, I want to keep it in the name, the last, I won't say my last name.
Yeah.
I want to keep it in the, and I don't have that same last name, whatever. It's whatever. I don't want anything from her.
Yeah.
I don't want anything. I've told her, use your money on you, spend it on you,
So when this thing goes sideways, when ultimately your brother has completely poked enough holes in the bottom of this fish tank for there to be no more water left, there's no more money.
Right.
Are you going to be responsible for taking care of mom? Is she going to move in with you?
No, my other sister will. I mean, I will if my other sister. There's 3 girls and 1 boy in the family.
Okay.
Well, all of us girls, try to help her. I let go of it about 10 years ago, but recently she started helping out another person who's taking advantage of her nephew, who's moved in with her and is taking advantage of her, and that's what kind of brought it up again.
Yep.
And I want to be able to have a relationship with her, but it's so hard when she won't set any boundaries. I feel like I have really good, healthy boundaries I set with people, and I want to cut her out of my life.
Right.
I want to be there for her, but then she'll just drop this, a story like she just told me the other day. She drops a story on me. Oh, I gave him a check and he wrote it out for $600. Well, I closed that account, so it's all okay now. And I'm like, but it's not okay.
Yeah. It's a son robbing his mother. I mean, of course, any kind of being a thief is being a thief, right? And not telling the truth is not telling the truth and blah, blah, blah. But stealing from your mother, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's next level.
Yeah. He even maybe it was 15 years ago, right after my dad passed away, he threatened suicide, so because, oh, no one's going to help me out kind of thing. So I think she's always got that in the back of her head, that if she doesn't help him out, and the worst part of that, well, not that that's not bad enough, but the worst part of it is her mother committed suicide.
Oh, yikes.
she knows the pain of that. And it's like, if that's his undue influence over her for the last 15 years is, I think he just kind of drops that little.
Sounds like your mom's had a lot of big hurt in her life, and she has developed some pretty miraculous / pathological ways of segmenting people's behaviors so that she can keep people in her life. And unfortunately, the good kids, the 3 daughters who are still coming around and still trying to be supportive, y'all bear the emotional weight that she can't carry because she just sloughs it off, right? So 2 important things here. One is mom is a proxy right now. You haven't made peace with your brother. So you either need to have your conversation with your brother and let everything be said that you want to be said. Write him a letter and say all the things that you are stealing from our mother. And you should be ashamed of yourself. I know she raised you better than that. You need to have that conversation with him. All 3 of your sisters need to have that conversation with him, whatever. Or in some families that can happen, other families it can't. So I won't speak into which one you know your sisters and your brother. My guess is just talking to you for a few minutes, if that conversation would have been fruitful, you would have had that years ago. And so my guess is that's not a fruitful conversation. If it's not, you have to make peace with the haunting fact that part of what made your brother made you. And when our brothers and sisters do things that hurt other people, by extension, we're like, can I do that? Right? You're going to have to cut that tie. You're going to have to put up a really firm boundary. I don't talk about my brother. I don't acknowledge this guy. He is a crook, and he steals from my mother. And so the only way I can preserve my dignity and my treating other people with respect is to say that person does not exist. I am a person who always leaves an unlocked door for somebody to return, but that person, that's them. I can't continue to chase you down, right? And my gut tells me is when you make peace with that, whatever your choice is there, then the conversation with your mom when she starts telling you about the nephew, saying, Mom, I don't think he should be living here. I think he's stealing from you, and I will not have a conversation about him. Let's talk about something else.
Okay.
Right? And so that's you. You're not taking control of your feelings. What you're doing is you're taking control of the on and off ramp. You're putting a toll stop there so that when a car tries to drive through, you're stopping it before it even gets going.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That is the only way I've found to stop stuff when I'm worrying about things I can't control. I can't stop worrying about Russia and Ukraine, so I have to cut off my access to the information about it on a 24/7, 365 basis. See what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you talk to your sisters about this?
Yes, all the time. And they both live very close to her. I'm 1,200 miles away. Mm-hmm. So I get the stories from my mom, but I also get them from my sisters. And then that's all we end up talking about for, 20 minutes is what he's doing.
Yeah, that's the further extension of the boundaries is talking to your sister. Either there's an intervention and the 3 daughters go sit with mom and say, we want this crook out of your house. And then she might say, well, forget you guys. I want y'all out of my house. And that's one of those relational risks that you got to take when you're trying to save somebody.
Right.
I don't know enough to know whether she's desperate for someone to come in and save her or if she doesn't give you all that power. My guess is if y'all had that power, you would have used it by now. But the worst part about boundaries with family is boundaries come with a risk, and the risk is they could say no, bye, and walk away. And that's gut-wrenching. And I'm telling you, you're trying to preserve a relationship with your mother, which is noble and good, but you also can't see her. You can't stand by and watch while she allows herself to be held underwater by a criminal son and a criminal nephew. And so it may be that the best way to protect yourself is to extricate yourself from the situation. Say, I'm not having these conversations anymore. I don't think it's beyond getting with your 2 sisters and calling an attorney and seeing if she's got the ability to care for herself with the way they're draining her, or whether it's worth getting the authorities involved, or at least having an attorney write your brother and write your nephew a letter that says, if another dollar comes out, right? Your mom may say, no, I can do what I want to with my money. And that's just heartbreaking. And that's, adults can do what adults can do. But it may be worth throwing a grenade to see what happens. That's probably what I would do, just because I don't know. I have a hard time taking no for an answer sometimes. But just hear me say this. I'm sorry. This is hard.